Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on UppTalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say UppTalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you are new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
All right, like I said, the eligibility rule is going to define the population that is going to be eligible for my compensation plan or my compensation package that I am going to be creating. Like I said, this is just very simply put the eligible population. Who are the eligible population for my compensation plan or package that I am going to be creating? And that is what the eligibility rule is going to look like. The first and foremost thing, how do I create an eligibility rule? If folks want to do it along with me, they can do it as well. I will just take it very slow. First time I go to search and I say create compensation eligibility rule. Alright, I use only very small things. I do not type the entire thing. I am going to say create compensation eligibility rule and I am going to say the description as test RN rule. All right. I'm going to say in the comments, if I want to add comments, I can do it over here. I am going to say test compensation eligibility rule. And I am going to put my date over here today as 2023, September the 14th. All right, clear on this and over here, since I am going to create a very simple rule over here. I am going to say management level over here. I come to the field over here. The source field, that is what is going to be, or for very simple, if I am going to put it like a very simple thing, probably in your mathematics you would have studied in your school grades. Imagine your source field as your LHS, comparison value as your RHS in any kind of a mathematical equation or something that will make it easier for those folks to also understand it as well. Alright, any simple rule. I am going to say whether my source field is equal to my comparison value. If it does, this rule is going to be satisfied and the bottom line, wherever I am going to be putting it, that is going to be triggered. That is the purpose of my eligibility rule for that particular practical purposes. Any rule or condition that you are going to create anywhere, not only over here in compensation, we will see it a little bit more in business process and everywhere else as well. Wherever you create a rule, all that I am going to say is if my LS, the source field, is equal to my comparison value, then this is going to get triggered or the underlying action will get triggered. Now, I am just going to create a sample rule with a management level as the field. I am going to say if my management level, I am just taking the same rule that everybody can understand, and if you want to create a different rule, you can do it as well. You have many fields over here which have already been created by folks as well. That is why you see many. But in a practical dummy tenant or a blank tenant, you may not see many stuff. You will see only the management level, which is the direct field which is going to be referenced. What I would rather suggest is let me just come over and pick that right field and show it and to you as well, and then we will go there. Management level 4 to 6. All right. You see over here, I see a field over here. What you do is you just type it as management level compensation. Don't type it as just management level because it is going to give you 75 what fields, which is going to be difficult for you for now. Just put it as management level compensation. As you create more and more rules, you will get a hang of things about which field to use where. For now, just type it as in your source field. Type it as management level or management level compensation. And how do I find which is the right field over here? I see a related actions option over here. I just need to click on this. If you see, like I said in the first few weeks, every field is going to be linked to an appropriate business object for this particular field. The business object is compensation rule targetable and it has a description which is returns the applicable management level for all job profiles, and this is a Workday delivered one. We can create fields where this particular value will be called as custom ones or created by user, and this is a multi-instance. Park it aside for now. We will see that a little later, and the related business object is management level. Remember, this business object is related to the business object which is called as management level. That is why this is the management level at a compensation level. Alright, clear on this? Clear on how to exactly pull the correct field for now. We'll take baby steps into the fields and everything because I just don't want to get overwhelmed at this time. There is much in this, but for now choose only the management level compensation. If folks are doing along with me, variable to get the correct field. Alright. Now I'm just going to be saying, let's just maintain the same thing and just go to say management level in vice president. And this person is based out of the US. Then he is eligible for this particular compensation eligibility rule. And I'm going to hit. The moment I hit, the derived logic is going to be automatically populated by Workday. It's going to be automatically populated by Workday. There's nothing that you need to do additional over this. Alright, I'm going to say this particular compensation plan name as CAR 11 plan. I'm going to say CAR description as CAR 11 plan for vice presidents. Alright, and if I want to apply an FTE, I can apply an FTE as well. FTE in the sense means if I'm going to have this pro rata or computed according to my FTE, I can use that particular value. FTE means full-time equivalent, which means if a person is in the US is expected to work 40 hours a week. And if he's going to be working only say part-time, he may be working like 20 hours, 25 hours. If he's working 25 hours, his FT leave will be approximately 62.5%, which is 25 by 14%. And if he's going to work only for 4 hours a day into 5 days a week, which is going to be like 20 hours, he's going to be eligible only for 50% FTE. That's what FT comes in. This is all for all practical purposes. This is the same across any HR system that you've already worked or you're going to be working. Alright, clear on this? Right. Now I'm not going to use FTE. Let's say that it's going to be very, very simple. And here in the compensation element, I'm going to say car allowance. Alright, this is the car allowance that I'm going to be doing. And then I'm going to say the eligibility rule as the one that I've already created. If you want to copy this, just click on right click and say copy text because this is usually something which I do that the naming conventions and everything is clean. I go to my compensation rule that I've created and I click on right click and then say copy text. If I'm going to say it as copy URL, that will copy the URL underlying URL which is available in the top over here. That is what it will copy. But if I want to say the copy text, it will copy the rule name only. I'm going to say copy text. Then I come over here and then I paste it over here and hit. My rule is attached to this. Clear on creation of a salary plan. Any questions here? If people are doing along with me right now, any questions were you able to create till this point of time at least? And the compensation element I've created, I've used already available one. If you want to view it, you can just click right click. Same way click see in new tab. Alright, clear on that? Alright. If you see, this particular compensation element is called as car allowance and it is just included in element groups and it's referenced by other places as well. Just an element that I have already in my system. That's it. Alright. The next thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to say, and my salary plan is going to get created right now. Once my plan is created, my eligibility rule is also created. Next, what I'm going to be doing right now is I'm going to create a comp package. I'm going to create a compensation package. Like I said always, I create with 1900. I'm going to create a compensation package and I'm going to name it as Test Area and Car Allowance. I would say in the description car allowance for VPs in US. And here I'm going to copy paste my eligibility rule that I've already created, which means if I want to view this rule, I'm going to say this is only applicable for those vice presidents based out of the US. That's it. Clear on this? And next, if I want to have some compensation grades for this, I can have some compensation grades. But for this particular allowance, I may not really want to have any compensation grades for this because for everybody it is going to be the same $1,000 a month or whatever I want to define this to be. I do not want to create grades over here. It's going to be the same. I go directly to my compensation plans and I click on compensation plan and the salary plan that I create. I just right click on this and then say copy text. Come over here, paste this particular one. Let me see if this is the one that I created. Car allowance plan, car allowance. Station element. Now, this is not the one that I created. Let me rename this that it's easier for me to understand this and get it over there. Alright, I go over here and then I say, I have my plan over here. my eligibility rules is going to be automatically populated, and I'm going to say click on. This package is now created for the eligibility rule of vice presidents based out of US. And I've also given the compensation plan over here. And if I just think I forgot to give the eligibility grades as well, and let me go back and give the grades as well. I think I just need to make some changes. I missed that. I'm just giving the values over here. Check. Right here, I'm just giving the grades over here. What is going to be the values that I need to give? The compensation basis, just choose a random one because I do not have any compensation basis that I have created right now. I will just choose a random compensation basis right now. And I will just have this added over here. Go on at the grade as well right now. Let me go and add the grade right now as element. I do not have that visibility. I think some of these plans are just not visible here right now. Just create a sample one. Fourth, I created a grade as well today morning. I created a compensation grade in the morning today. I'm just using it for the time being as something that I just have it. Alright, I'm just using this particular compensation grade as well over here. Or let me create one compensation grade that's easier. Let me teach you that as well. It's easier to tag it over here. Thought I can just use an existing one. But since that is not available, let's just create a compensation grade. That's going to be something which I need to teach you. Alright. First up, what we are going to be doing over here is first, we are going to create a compensation package which is going to be there only for vice presidents based out of the US. We've already created the eligibility rules. We have already created the compensation package. Just going to be tying it together with a grade right now. Let me create a comp grade right now. I go to search and I hit compensation grade and I'm going to say the date as 010111900. Since it is going to be a simple allowance, I do not have multiple pay range segments. I'm going to have just one pay range segment for everybody, which means if I have a base pay and if my salary range is going to be, say, 80 to 120K, I could say range 1 as 80 to 90K. Second range could be like 90 to 100K, and the third range could be like 110 to 22K. And the fourth range could be like 110 to 120K based on the way I'm going to be designing my package. For this car relevance, it's going to be the same across the board for everybody. It is going to be the same. Let's just put it as 3 for now. It's going to be the same for everybody. That is some rule in the back end. That's why it's just prompting me to put multiple ones here. I'll just fix that rule as well. There's much that's happening. Base pay element. I'm going to say it is going to be car relevance. And then the currency, I'm going to say it is USD. And the frequency, I'm going to say this is going to be monthly. And what is going to be my compensation basis? I'm going to say car allowance. For now, let's just have it as a total base pay only because there is a little difference in this particular tenant. I don't have that particular value in the compensation basis. For now, choose it as the total base pay only because anyway, it's going to get added to your total base pay. And the minimum for per month, I'm going to say it is a sample value of 100. And the midpoint is everything is going to be just fill it as 100. Just let's have the same value across the board for everybody. You're not going to have multiple values created. It is going to be the same value for everyone. And I'm going to say, that's it. I'll do one thing. I'll just make this as RN as well, that it's easy for me to add it rather than searching it over there. Here I will say the grid name as car relevance RN. It's easy for me to search in my compensation package. Alright, now I go back to my compensation package and I edit my compensation package. I go to my effective date as 0/1900. And I come down over here and I say car relevance RN, and this is done now. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.